Thank you for joining us for this episode of CNTV. I'm Brad Clonch.
And I'm Quin Tran. 20 years ago this month, the first Native American astronaut traveled to space.
Chickasaw citizen John Herrington made history on November 23, 2002, launching from Kennedy Space Center.
We recently spoke with him about his fascinating journey and asked him what stood out about that historic experience.
I got to leave Earth. I remember about 30 seconds prior to launch that I kind of chuckled to myself. I'm actually going to space. I'm actually going. It was the third attempt. First attempt was the first part of November, and we had an oxygen leak on the space shuttle. So they damaged the robotic arm in the process of inspecting it. And then next launch, we had bad weather in Spain. And then the next day we flew from Florida.
So try and finally did it, huh?
Yeah. Third time's a charm, right? We were up there for just about 14 days, just shy of 14 days. 7 of the days we were docked to the International Space Station. And my job was a mission specialist 2, which meant I was a flight engineer. I rode up on the flight deck between the pilot and commander, just aft with the pilot and commander. Mission specialist 1, Mike Lopez Alegria, sat next to me, to my right. And then we got to space. It was my job and Mike's job to actually do 3 spacewalks and help assemble a truss that was on the outside of the space station.
What's your background there? I see, it looks like an astronaut. Is that you?
That's me. Yeah, I'm always looking over my shoulder. So this is a photo that Mike Lopez Alegria, Mike LA, is we called him LA. He took a photo of me on top of the space station while somebody took a photo of him taking a picture of me on top of the space station. So what was the neatest about it was being in a weightless environment initially. When the engines quit, you go from 3 Gs to 0 Gs, instantaneously. And so, I watched my checklist float in front of my face, which had never done that before. But then to get out of your seat, you realize you have to control yourself. You can't, you're floating around, you've got a job to do. So you focus on doing your job. The thing behind me is the solar panels. There was 1 set of solar arrays on top of space station. Now there's 4 sets. And so this was the one that was up there, was actually powering space station. And we installed a truss, the first one on the left side, that actually cooled space station. That was has a big ammonia radiators, big panels that radiate the heat that's generated. So I was on the very top. And then I took a camera, I installed this camera right next to me. And then I got a chance to peer over the edge of the space station and look out over the vastness of the universe and, take in a moment that I'd never been in before. Nothing between me and whatever else was out there. Was a remarkable experience.
Your mom at Chickasaw had some advice for you, right?
Yeah, don't let go. You're on a tether. The tether's, I don't know, 55 feet long or so, and it's a metal cable on a reel, and it will, pull you back to space station if you let go or if you get pushed away. Mom said, don't let go. So when you do let go, rather than so that thing doesn't pull you along, you actually tether yourself. You have other tethers you use, and then if there's a work site, you have to do work with a power tool or something. You actually strap your feet into foot restraints so you don't go floating away, and actually can put torque on something.
Every time a man or woman goes to space is historic. But in your case, did you see the added history 20 years ago?
Yeah. One of the things that it became very apparent to me was within a couple of months of being in NASA, one of the ladies actually was on my interview, a woman named Estella Gillette. She came to me and she said, well, John, you're a Chickasaw, aren't you? And I said, yes, ma'am. And she goes, we're the first, Native American we've had in the astronaut program. I had no idea. And then I found myself in a role that a lot of people, never had a role model in before. And so I took it very serious. I took it as important to be able to share my background and my heritage with folks that didn't have someone in that. So when I flew, somebody in NASA headquarters actually called and said, hey, who do you want to sing at your launch? She said, well, we want to honor your heritage by inviting folks down, from your tribe, as well as somebody to sing. Well, I thought, who am I going to invite? Well, Buffy St. Marie is Canadian, she's Cree, and well-known singer. She's got an Academy Award, and she came down, and the tribe, like I say, sent folks down, and they got my parents to dance out in Rocket Garden, and I was, a few miles away over at the launch pad. But I think there's neat that NASA recognized that there was a segment of society that never had a person in that role. And I've been honored to be to do. And I find it, important that, I share my heritage and I share my struggles that I've had, and hopefully make a difference in the life of somebody else that looks at me and goes, hey, well, if that guy could do it, why not me?
Now retired, John Herrington spends time encouraging children to focus on their education and explore STEM fields. He says if he can go to space, they can do it too.
The Chickasaw citizen has been honored over the years, including being inducted into the Chickasaw Nation Hall of Fame and the Oklahoma Aviation and Space Hall of Fame. The Tribal Blood Drive Challenge is now underway. The Chickasaw Nation, the Muskogee Creek Nation, the Choctaw Nation, and the Oklahoma Blood Institute are once again promoting and participating in the initiative. The goal is to surpass last year's blood donations. A single donation can potentially save up to 3 lives.
There's always somebody in need. It can be somebody who has cancer, or maybe after a surgery, there was a unexpected hemorrhage. Premature babies need blood. And there are, a lot of medical conditions that require, that a person have additional blood. And so the need is absolutely always there.
The Blood Drive Challenge runs through the end of January 2023 with several events to increase awareness and blood donations.
The Chickasaw Nation Medical Center receives a perfect 5-star rating. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services issued the recognition in its overall hospital quality star ratings for 2022. Twice in the past 3 years, the Chickasaw Nation Medical Center has received the perfect rating, part of an elite group of national hospitals. The ratings involve a variety of measurements across 5 areas: safety of care, readmission, mortality, patient experience, and timely and effective care.
Earlier this year, Governor Bill Anatubby issued a proclamation designating the decade spanning 2022 to 2032 as a decade of Chickasaw language. The proclamation recognizes the importance of keeping the Chickasaw language alive, encouraging citizens to learn, and using the language to connect with tribal history and culture.
So many people are interested in the language. So, we started with, say, 20 or 30 people in 2007, and now we have almost 9,000 users of Rosetta Stone Chickasaw. There's like 60 kids that are learning it for world language credit at Bing High School. We're expanding to Ada High School in the fall. People at large they reach out to us weekly saying, this is really meaningful. Being able to pray in my language or introduce myself in my language is really changing how I feel about myself.
The Chickasaw Nation offers several language programs for all ages. In an upcoming episode, we feature a unique language immersion program that has participants speaking Chickasaw several hours a day. This next story is about another kind of language, the language of music. Music is bringing a Chickasaw citizen home to Oklahoma.
Adam Hanna is now the principal trombonist with the Oklahoma City Philharmonic.
When Adam Hanna is on the go, his trombone travels with him. He's been playing the instrument since age 10.
A self-esteem builder at that age too, something I was really, really good at. I kept developing. Everybody knows how it feels like when you're on a diet or when you're exercising or gaining endurance. Every single day, you feel a little stronger or a little more progress and you're like, woohoo, When you have that kind of consistency where you're playing an instrument 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 hours a day, you kind of get that progress and it feels really good.
He's gone from good to great. Adam is now the principal trombonist with the Oklahoma City Philharmonic.
This was my first big win, was Oklahoma City Philharmonic. Just really awesome. I'm proud, and I carry my heritage with me because I don't know if there's been a Native American or Chickasaw member of the brass section ever.
Earning that seat brings him home to Oklahoma after spending years away and abroad. The Chickasaw musician grew up in Durant and went overseas to earn his master's at the Conservatory of Amsterdam. He's now embarking on a journey of discovery.
In my master's degree and now my doctoral degree that I'm about to finish this coming year, trying to learn what is art and why do we do art, and then that's also been uniquely infused with what does it mean to be Chickasaw and what does it mean to be indigenous. Finding this sort of inner voice that is authentic instead of following the trend. Just like that idea of being more of a painter of sound rather than a mechanic on a machine. I mean, the trombone is just a bunch of metal pieces. So really it's just, you know, a machine. But it can also be like the tools to paint something.
Adam is creating and collaborating with others, including Chickasaw classical music composer Jared Tate. The music deepens his connection to his tribe, community, and his trombone that evokes many messages.
It has a varied ability to sound like a lot of different things. It's very similar to the human voice. So it's like being a singer, and with our words and our voice and inflection, we can say a lot of things. Chaos and frustration, but it can also be really elegant and really gentle or sultry. So when I play the trombone, and especially in a place like Scissortail Park, I kind of have to think, how is this instrument connecting thematically with any of the things going on around here? I Am Chickasaw means that I carry a responsibility to educate myself, to preserve a culture, to promote a culture, and to enjoy who I am. So a day like today is just great to feel alive and hopefully make somebody's day.
Adam is such a joy to get to know. He says his late mother was influential in his life. Much of his talent, he pays tribute to her life. We're eager to learn more about the project he's collaborating on with fellow Chickasaw Jared Tate. Look for that in the coming months.
See and hear Adam playing with the Oklahoma City Philharmonic. Their season is well underway with several upcoming performances. Well, we've enjoyed spending time with you here on CNTV.
We hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.